Hey there, thinkers! Welcome back to Critical Hit. My name is Est, and boy oh boy, here's the article we knew was coming. They really want the Wokalite to succeed. So let's get into this. If you have been even half awake and glanced at anything Kathleen Kennedy, Lucasfilm, or anything Star Wars related in the past few years, you've probably saw this train wreck coming from a mile away. These jokers are experts at damage control, always scrambling to cover their asses just before another dumpster fire of a series drops. And they know it's going to be awful. Everyone does. So they preemptively started pointing fingers at the fans, gearing up to blame them for when the show inevitably bombs. Which it will, because it's classic Disney, right? So here we go again. Less than a week away until the Wokalite drops, and what do we have? Another gem from Variety. Right on schedule. BT dubs. Oh look, Kathleen Kennedy is at it again. Lucasfilm boss Kathleen Kennedy says a lot of women in Star Wars struggle with fan attacks because the fan base is so male dominated. Right. Because it's always the fans' fault, isn't it? They'll never admit the real problem, though. It's not because of their Mary Sue or their girl boss characters. No. They won't say, yeah, we turn out garbage movies and TV shows and completely abandoned George Lucas's vision. George Lucas himself just said the other day they have no idea what they're doing. The Force? Yeah, they don't get it. Fans have been saying that for years, but does Kathleen listen? No. She just whines about the male-dominated fan base. No, Kathleen, we don't dislike you because you're a woman. We dislike you because you don't know what you're doing. Oh, and Kennedy's statement is basically like, oh yeah, you have no idea what you're doing, lady. And that's why Star Wars is a mess. And then she goes on about women in Star Wars facing fan attacks. Seriously, nobody has it out for Daisy Ridley. The beef is with Rey. And it's got zilch to do with the fan base being mostly male. It's all about Rey being this over-the-top girl boss, a Mary Sue, and just an awful character. We're upset because it's so obvious you've got an agenda to push rather than focusing on making a good Star Wars content. Alright, we need to get something straight here. Nobody hates Daisy Ridley. No one even hates, what's her name? Kelly Marie Tran? And no one really hates that chick who played Reva, unless she says something dumb. If you open your mouth and spout nonsense, then yeah, we're gonna come after you. But we're not mad at you because you played a character in Star Wars. We're mad at the character itself, which means we're mad at the lousy writing. Honestly, J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson should be the ones who are taking the heat. Daisy Ridley, well, she's just there. Star Wars fans are indifferent about her. She's neither loved nor hated, because her character just didn't give us anything to care about. So we're like, whatever, Daisy Ridley is an actress. Move on. We don't want another Rey movie because there's such a disconnect between the fans and the studio. They think that we hate the actress, but we don't. We hate the poorly written character that she plays. If they made better movies, this wouldn't be an issue. However, in an interview with New York Times about the upcoming Star Wars series, The Acolyte, Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy claims she knows women in Star Wars face more online attacks because the fan base is so male-dominated. The female stars, Daisy Ridley and Kelly Marie Tran, face online harassment from toxic fans when the latest Star Wars trilogy came out. And now, the Wokalite is catching some flack too. But let's be real, the Wokalite is getting slammed because the people making it and the trailer look like complete boring crap. What else do you expect us to do? This isn't Star Wars anymore. Kathleen, congratulations, you've lost the fans. And instead of attacking the fans, maybe try owning up to your mistakes. How about saying, you know what guys, I messed up. My bad. I'm sorry. George Lucas handed us a perfect blueprint, and I tossed it out to push my own feminist agenda. But no, Kathleen will never take the blame. She's a terrible leader who never owns up to her own screw-ups. It's always someone else's fault, mostly the fans. I am just waiting for her to throw Dave Filoni under the bus. When are you going to take responsibility, Kathleen? You are the president of Lucasfilm. You had one job: don't mess up Star Wars. It's like making a bowl of cereal. You can't screw that up unless you put the cereal in first and then the milk because you're a psychopath. However, I digress. The Wokalite is an original story by Leslie Headland, set long before The Phantom Menace. But when it bombs, it won't be Leslie's fault. No. It will be the fans. Headland is known for directing films like Sleeping with Other People and creating Netflix's Russian Doll. She is the first woman to serve as a showrunner for a Star Wars series. Her show features major new female Star Wars characters. Yay! According to The Times. Naturally, the louder corners of the Star Wars fandom are losing their minds. Why are there so many women, girls, and minority characters increasingly dominating the Jedi ranks? Says one commenter on the Acolyte trailer. And with others echoing the sentiment. Some trolls have dubbed Headland's series the Wokalite. And honestly, that name fits it like a glove. Apparently, I'm a troll. However, you can relate to Chewie's pain without him needing to check some diversity box. But these geniuses don't get that. They're too busy trying to make everything about identity politics. This is exactly my point. She's basically saying, I have no clue, so let's just shove in some diversity and hope it works. And what do we get? Trash characters like Rey that nobody cares about. Sure, you'll find a few cosplayers dressing up as Rey because she's in the movie, but ask anyone if they actually like Rey, nobody cares. So Kathleen Kennedy told the publication, my belief is that storytelling needs to be representative of all people, except for straight white men. Yeah, a real easy decision there, Kathleen. So here we go again. Headland's grand vision is all about representation. It's about being inclusive rather than making something Star Wars fans will actually enjoy. That's the problem. They should be saying, we're here to make Star Wars. We're going to make the best Star Wars content possible. Forget everything else. Let's just focus on great Star Wars content. But no. Headland's vision for the Wokalite is all about representation. How about you represent Star Wars fans? How about giving us something that reflects what we love about Star Wars? And that means sticking to George Lucas's vision. But no, she's replacing Lucas's vision with her own Wokalite vision. Like, what Leslie Headland is doing now is absolute garbage. Just make Star Wars. Some people will love it, some won't. Star Wars isn't for everyone, but trying to make it all-inclusive is just going to result in hot garbage. Operating within these giant franchises now, with social media and the level of expectation, it's terrifying. I think Leslie has struggled a little bit with it. I think a lot of women who step into Star Wars struggle with this a bit more because the fan base is so male dominated. They sometimes get attacked in ways that can be quite personal. Well, no kidding. Star Wars is personal to a lot of fans, especially the guys who have been the backbone of your franchise for the last 40 years. Of course it's male dominated. It's a male brand. You're trying to flip it upside down. Thanks for the revelation, Kennedy. Yes, it's male dominated. Star Wars isn't a girl brand. How about catering to the actual fan base? Ask yourself, what do the guys like about Star Wars? It's baffling how you don't understand the very thing you're in charge of. Instead, you're busy turning it into a platform for your feminist agenda rather than making Star Wars for people who actually care. It's laughable. Now, imagine for a moment, if you will, that Disney decided to announce, we know our Disney princess films are a huge hit with the girls, but we're flipping the script. We're turning them into boy brands. Get ready for war scenes, monster trucks, and epic battles. Forget about princesses. We're all about Prince Charming now, slaying dragons and waging wars. Sure, there might be a few girls who might be into it. But could you even fathom the uproar? People would be like, what on earth is this? Where's the fairy tale romance, the enchanting rescues, birds adoring Snow White's hair, and chipmunks harmonizing along? Where's the girly charm? It would be absolute chaos. However, with Star Wars, it's perfectly fine to toss out everything that made it beloved and cram in a bunch of forced diversity. It's like they don't even understand their own franchise. Newsflash, Kathleen. Star Wars is a male brand. It always has been. Instead of trying to turn it into some feminist manifesto, maybe focus on what fans actually want. But no, you're too busy pushing your agenda to notice you're driving the franchise into the ground. Brava. They would never pull that stunt with their princess brand, but with Star Wars, oh, it's fair game, even though it's male dominated. And when they scratch their heads wondering why nobody's watching, gee, what a mystery. Why is nobody tuning in? Why is everyone hammering that trailer with dislikes? Oh, look, it's 710,000 downvotes. Why? Because you're clueless. That's why. It's so obvious to literally everyone else. George Lucas practically handed you a blueprint. It's paint by numbers. Simple. Instead of whining about the fans, especially the men who built the franchise, try respecting the legacy. Who do you think was out there buying the comic books, the action figures, and the video games? Do you really think it was a lot of women? So why would you turn a male-dominated franchise on its head and expect the guys to stick around? Instead, they're all like, nope, hard pass. But no, instead, we've got these geniuses running Star Wars who can't seem to understand the basics. And Leslie Headland, let's be clear. Anyone engaging in bigotry, hatred, racism, or hate speech isn't a fan. But don't act surprised when the actual fans push back against your clueless agenda. Well, Leslie, I don't consider you a fan either because you're not doing it right. You're imposing your own vision instead of sticking to George's. And that's what's happening here. So here we go again, right on cue, crying about the so-called toxic fans. Yeah, those toxic fans are right. We've been right all along. And I'm putting toxic in quotes here because there's nothing toxic about us. We're just passionate and tired of your nonsense. Simply produce quality Star Wars content and you'll have nothing to fret about. Fans will be showering you with praises, celebrating like it's a second coming. But let's be clear, it's not Kathleen, and it's not Leslie, and it's certainly none of those other jokers over there, especially Filoni. Don't even get me started on Filoni. He's neck deep in this debacle just like Kathleen and Leslie. To add to this Disney madness, John Musker, the mastermind behind the original Little Mermaid, bluntly criticized Disney's live-action remake of The Little Mermaid, calling it the lackluster story and the designs of its CGI characters. We need more of this. Disney has been making all the wrong moves with their endless quest for a quick buck. However, who needs originality when you can just slap in some CGI and call it a day, right? Well, keep them coming, Disney. We'll be here with our popcorn, waiting to see which childhood characters you'll butcher next. However, that's all I have for this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And hey, before you go, subscribe to our channel, smash that like button, and ring the bell to be notified for our next video. As always, this is Est, and I'm signing off now, so I'll see you in the next one. Toodles!